She is the queen. She's the queen.
They're all just so cute.
Oh, come on.
That is my like all-time crush.
Kim, Courtney, and Chloe.
Colton, this one's you, man. I don't watch
You
the
know
show.
it. My younger self was a Courtney, but I feel like as I've watched her personality really shine on screen, Chloe is like the girl I'd love to like kiki with.
I would go with Kim right now with what she's doing in social justice, and I think that that's really cool that she's using her platform to do that. So yeah, Kim.
Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. I'm gonna have to go with Eminem on the basis that I learned basically every lyric all the way through my childhood. So it's gonna have to be Eminem, even though the other two are great too.
Vomit on his sweater already. Mom's.
I mean, to be fair, that movie is incredible as well, and I haven't seen too many Snoop Dogg movies that I've been raving about. So
I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar. I love Snoop Dogg too, and Eminem, but Kendrick Lamar is a poet to me, and I love his music. He's fire. I love him.
oh, yeah, done then. Monica, Phoebe, Rachel.
I'm gonna go with Phoebe. She's super quirky, and I just love that.
Rachel, Jennifer Aniston, Rachel. She's just, I mean, they're all great in their own right, but that is my like all-time crush since I was a kid. And she's just so funny and also so great she's got so much range, Jennifer Aniston, in that show. She's wicked. She's amazing. I love her.
Harry Styles, Ed Sheeran, or Justin Bieber.
Oh, come on.
They're all just so cute.
Harry Styles is a rock star. I'm gonna go with Harry Styles.
That's tough. I'll say I am a Justin stan, but like past progressions I have to take into account right now. So he's Ixnay. Ed writes brilliant music, but Harry's the guy. I mean, Harry is like, he's the moment, he's the movement.
Is it the dresses?
He's like anything anyone would ever aspire to be, as the most amazing definition of masculinity there is.
Ariana Grande, Beyonce, or Taylor Swift. I'm definitely gonna have to go with Beyonce. She is the queen. She's the queen. We are going with Beyonce.
Yeah, she's Queen Bey. The other two aren't queens yet. Maybe they will be in the future, but right now there's one queen only.
Spider-Man, Black Panther, or Thor.
I'm gonna have to go with Black Panther.
All wonderful, all have a special place in my heart, but Black Panther. I mean, Chadwick kills it in the interpretation. The comics, he's legit. And the other two have godlike and mutant-like powers, and Black Panther does it mostly from the power and strength of his heart.
Boom! Damn.
Right now, we're going with Black Panther. My favorite and funniest memories on the project was definitely going to Governor's Island, and it was the first time that all of the actors, all of the cast were all together at the same time, and I absolutely love that. I love working in an ensemble, and I love my cast, so that was definitely the most fun. And we got to be outside. It was beautiful. It was so much fun.
Oh, I can't say one of them actually because you grilled someone and it was so funny with how you grilled them, Colton, but I can't. It was Phil. It was when you... Colton, as a joke, faked threw his weight around, and it was just a funny thing. We hadn't been together yet, any of us as a group like that, and so we came together, and I don't know, Colton was just so funny all day. It was just Colton's general performance of the Governor's Island, I'd say. It was
my performance
one of the best
as
days.
Colton.
yeah, because as Sam, it was just lovely and sweet, but Colton was just on fire that day.
I would love if Meryl Streep came on the show. Meryl Streep or who else? If I could bring a pop star, I think it would be really cool if John Legend came on the show, because I know that him and Sarah work together. That would be super cool. I would love that.
It would be hard not to have Lin-Manuel Miranda just on the musical theater front, right, Colton?
I mean, that'd be sick, but like, you were saying like Ariana Grande and Harry a second ago, so like now my mind's there. We're shooting for the moon. Not that Lin isn't, I mean, he's pretty crazy. I would never meet Ariana Grande live. Who would I really want to see? I'd love Bruno Mars on the show. That would be so crazy.
That doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility with the music.
No, if he was like in his hooligans, like his like Hooligans baseball tee and was like, "What's up, man?"
One time I was doing a scene with Molly, who plays Ella, Bess's dog, and she passed gas, and it was horrible. It was really, we were in a room of like 40 people, and I was like, Molly! And I just didn't want people to think it was me, because it wasn't that time, so.
I put as many treats in my pockets as possible. I just bathed my hands in the stuff so that it looked like they gravitated towards me naturally. When they didn't, I was tricking them all along. But you know what? These dogs, we had such wonderful trainers, and they work with these dogs like their family. You know, some of these dogs have been on Broadway. They were bigger stars, and they've done more jobs than me and Colton put together. And the beautiful Labrador, the golden retriever that plays Ella in the show, she would pick up the phone when it rang with her mouth and pass it over. We'd have to find time to get the dog to move in sequences. So we were lucky enough that the lovely trainers, they were so sweet. They would take us aside at lunch as if it was some sort of hardship. And teach us how to get the dogs to come to us at some point, stop, shake their heads, paw, all sorts of things, and then you get to feed them treats afterwards. I was in heaven. There was a grumpy basset hound, one really big prima donna basset hound, and I'll move on from that because he knows who he is. He doesn't need it. I'm not giving him any airtime.
Absolutely. I have so many videos on my phone of everybody dancing around or imitating someone. We have a really funny group. I'm trying to think of something specific, but I know that one time we all kind of burst out in High School Musical, but that's kind of nerdy. I don't know. But we all played different characters. Like Colton was Troy Bolton and I was Gabriella. And I was like, that makes sense. Maybe I definitely, I've heard that Vanessa Hudgens and I are, we favor each other look-alike in ways. So yeah, maybe, who knows? Oh, you know, I spent a lot of time in the studio with Sarah recording and also practicing. I had like singing coach and a guitar and piano coach, and recording in the booth. We'd probably be there, Sarah and I and her team would be there for maybe like 2 to 3 hours and record maybe 2 or 3 songs if we could, and then whatever we couldn't finish, we circled back and finished later. But we, you know, it was definitely go time when we were in there, and Sarah was so fun to work with, and she has such a beautiful voice, obviously, and she's just a beautiful person. We had a lot of fun together.
We never would do it together, weirdly enough, so I learned out about recording, but like we'd be in there with Sarah and our producer Tyler and sometimes Jesse as well, and I watched them like write tracks on the fly. I mean, truly take notes and just watch these people be like, what if it was like, you know, like just making it up as it goes. And I'd be sitting there just like, a lot of times, like a lot of shooting, you know, it would happen on the day, and it would be a lot of like shotgun style, like we would be in a trailer just like rolling over it and over it again. But luckily, a lot of times the growth of like the music was in sequence with the actual writing. So like the first performance, even though it is kind of, well, you know, usually your first performance with someone that you're meant to, it's like, it's magical. And so that first one kind of was. And then we did Valerie under the archway, and like, you can actually hear us like giggling through the whole thing because we really are like, we don't know what to do and we're terrified. And there's a bunch of people around, actual people, not paid people, just watching and like being like, oh, was this like a Tom Cruise thing? Or like, you know, like, look. And so, yeah, no, a lot of it was us just kind of like, it felt real, like we were in the trailer making the music before going out on stage kind of stuff.
Yeah. I feel like it's super important. And I think that for the first season, I think that the dynamics have been set for hopefully in the future for it to be, I don't know what Jesse and Sarah are going to do with that, but I know that they're very passionate and sensitive people, and they'll probably incorporate, you know, more of that storyline for sure. I would have have loved to do Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like that would have been so much fun. And I would love to work with Denzel Washington at some point. I think that he's a very serious actor, and I would love to learn from him. And I think that he's really cool. That's somebody I would love to work with.
I want to be Bradley Cooper, of course, in Star is Born, but I actually think I want to be Lady Gaga in A Star is Born. I want to be Ally, like on the stage, like holding, like covering my eyes while I'm singing, and then covering my ears because it's just too like the lights are blaring and I'm going viral, and I'm like, like screaming.
I mean, to be fair, A Star is Born, Bradley is astonishing. And I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be in School of Rock because Jack Black is just.
Oh.
Who doesn't want to Jack Black all day at work? Wouldn't that be great?
Well, in the beginning, I studied abroad in China when I was in college, and so I was trying to brush up on my Chinese. I gave up on that because I was trying to learn the characters again, and it's so difficult. So I would like to resume that. I tried to I tried to bake. I baked some bread. I tried to go on jogs, doing a lot of Zoom parties, like seeing all my friends and doing a reunion in that way, and social distance. And
I spent this morning playing a new game that just came out, which is terrifying. It's called The Last of Us. So that's been a nice little distraction because it's such a great story. But I've been doing lots of voiceovers. That's the thing that's like managed to keep my brain ticking over slightly, is just irritating people with accents endlessly for hours. That's what I've been doing. And then calling it work, and then someone sending me £15. Voiceovers have been the thing that has kept me creatively sane, at least.
I built a studio in my mom's house, and I'm making music. So, and when I'm not doing that, I'm watching TikTok a lot.
Oh my gosh, I'm like a grandma. I don't have a TikTok, and I didn't learn. I know like the beginning of Savage, like I'm a savage, classy, bougie. I'm sorry, I already messed it up. No, I'm horrible. It's like I'm a savage, and then
baby, do this thing for me, Stoopy.
That was prepped, wasn't it? One of those things.
There's this one in the Savage one where you go. The end of it is you go, and you start like shaking your booty.
C
V.
No, what's happening? I'm turning into one of them.
I'm a savage. Yeah.
I'm so glad. I feel like I'm the boring grandma. I'm like, oh, what is a TikTok? The advice I would give to a young person who wants to pursue this is don't get discouraged if you face a lot of rejection, but you're allowed to be discouraged because it's a very discouraging thing. And I'd also say that be true to who you are and keep working at your craft to make it the best that you feel comfortable with, and you're worth it.
You hear all those sort of cliche things. I wouldn't say cliche, but overtold statements of like, keep pushing, don't give up, which kind of without any real context doesn't help much. I would say something that I learned early on that helped me a lot was to never, even if you are, which might not be the case most likely, but never think you're the smartest in the room. If you don't think you're smartest in the room, you come in with an ethos that isn't threatening, that comes in with sort of a collaborative spirit. That really helps. And if you come in thinking that you're not the smartest in the room, you can gain from all these wonderful, brilliant people around you that are so generous often with their art, with their skill set, with their understanding of things, with their experience that you might not have. So just sponge, be, in a weird way, be selfish like that, and just take from people by not thinking that you know best. Even if you do, don't stick to your guns. Try to collaborate more, because you'll only grow if that's the case. And you neglect or you negate any growth, prevent that. It's a big barrier to entry if you just don't take on other people's experience and knowledge and talent.